What is going on, 5-9 gamers? My name is Joe Eggs, and today I will be your host for your favorite podcast, the Dokkan Battle Podcast. Our podcast is presented to you by 5-9 Gaming, your source for all things gaming, anime, and entertainment related. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things 5-9. Today's episode is episode 84, the end of the drought. Yes, we have content again this week. We actually have some things to talk about. I know Legends is pretty hype right now, but Dokkan's got some stuff too, so we're going to try to talk about all the things that have happened this week. We did get some good announcements that we'll be talking about, so I can't do this by myself, so I did bring some guests along with me today. First up, we have the glue that holds us all together, Vilify. Vilify, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Happy to have you. Next up, we have the man of many gotchas, Gal Riot. Gal, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, mate. I'm ready to get into this one. We got a major announcement. A lot of people have been predicting for the last 5 years, so it's finally here. So I'm ready to talk about it for sure.
Very, very good. And last but not least, we have the man that cannot stop tweeting about Tech Ultimate Gohan, Minato. How you doing?
It's not all the time I tweet about Tech Ultimate Gohan, but yeah, it's true. Hello.
I mean, he's so good. How can you not tweet about him constantly, right?
Exactly.
I know. All right. Well, we have gotten the end of the Golden Week celebration. We finally got physical Cell's EZA. So we need to get everyone's thoughts on how much of a beast this unit is, or is he underwhelming like the other LR EZAs? So, Minato, let's start with you on this one. Thoughts of physical Cell?
I think it's good. I personally haven't used him too much because I'm still sad over not getting the the AGL cell, but I think that he seems like a very, very strong unit, and even for red zone he just kind of clears, right? They designed it very well. I think that when it comes to the future, I really wish he would have had defense raising on his super attack effect. That would have been really good for him, but unfortunately they did not give him that ability, which I'm not sure why, but it's fine. He's still good enough without it for sure, and yeah, I would say that he's just a very good, very, very powerful unit.
For sure. Gail, what are your thoughts on this cell? Have you used him much yet?
Yeah, I've been using him here and there. Honestly, I really like him. I really do like him. I have to, agree with Minato there that the only drawback is that he doesn't have his defense raising on super as well. Which would have made him, I think, perfect in every way after that point. But I think for what is a unit with a healing property, I feel like this is something that's commonly noticed in a lot of units that heal, is that they, for some reason, just decide to undertune them in one way or the other. But Cell, surprisingly, is pretty decent all around, apart from just one area where they could have made him that much better. But overall, I still think he's really usable, a lot of fun, and I have to agree with Minato. And another thing is that I don't have Cell either, so all I've been doing is running in Cell as my leader, and then a friend 200% AGL Cell. So he's been good on that, and I'm really liking him. I really am.
Yeah, it is nice to have that good partner for that AGL Cell as well. It is a bummer you guys didn't get him, but you know what? Give it a few months and they're going to be throwing that Cell and Goku Gohan on like every banner. And then, people like me that rainbowed them, I'm going to be getting extra copies I don't need, and you guys will be able to get them. So just give it some time. Vilify, what are your thoughts on the Cell? Have you used them much yet?
Yeah, I think the lineup for this week is kind of like the worst possible one to talk about this one, because all three attendees did not pull the AGL Cell. So we're not kind of able to see him at his full potential. But yeah, I mean, they kind of said everything that I would want to say, but the mention of how units are undertuned because they heal, that's just like the Majin Power team in a nutshell, right? Because it's like all that healing they do, they never give them enough defense. So this cell is definitely good. Summonable LR EZAs have been kind of a tricky subject, but I think they did a really good job with the cell. He's not like severely underwhelming like some other ones that we've seen.
Yeah, I really like the cell, and so I have been able to run him with the AGL cell, and I was very impressed, and I did not feel underwhelmed. I did not get those feelings like I did when I used Majin Vegeta, or especially Int Gohan. By the way, as a side note, I did Rainbow Int Gohan on the current LR banner, and I tried using him again. I'm like, my God, this guy hits like nothing. Like, why is this Gohan hitting like a feather? It's just so disappointing. But the cell I was very impressed with. I do like, so he has the key +1 and attack plus 30% per existing enemy, which causes him to hit ridiculously hard. So against multiple enemies, if you go all in on like a 24 key super, he's hitting over 10 mil. which is insane. It's like a nuke. But obviously, if it's multiple enemies, you kind of want to AoE, and then he's sitting more like 5-6 mil, which is still a really good AoE. The caveat with that key +1 per existing enemy, I think, is if you're doing like SBR where you're running traditional leader skills, like it's actually really hard to get the 12 key super. But I like the key +1 because it's, I think, meant more for World Tournament where you do really need the key. So I think that's why they put that in there. But overall, I think they built him in a way where he hits really hard single target. So he's not just like an AoE, that's not his only role. He hits very hard. He's like, if you're doing a traditional single target enemy, I was hitting him consistently around 7 mil attack stats. And then because he gets 2 separate 60% defense procs, his defense actually gets to a very respectable level. So I do think this Cell could, and maybe this is a hot take, but I think he is competing with LR Broly for that top LR EZA spot. I might like him a little bit more, and partially it's because his link set is ridiculous and he links so good with these other Cell units. So that's my thoughts on the EZA cells. Anybody else have anything they want to add on the Cell EZA?
I would say that he's definitely better than Broly. In my opinion, I think it's not really a contest, just because of how the game state is right now.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's just crazy because that Broly's so old and he's still considered one of the best ones. Go ahead, Gal.
No, I was just gonna say that this is probably the first LR we've gotten that is to modern standards, I would say, because while Trunks and Bardock were both really solid, we all felt that it wasn't there, right? It wasn't all there. And then we know Majin Vegeta and Gohan were heavily undertuned, it felt like, or they required ridiculous conditions, specifically in Vegeta's case, right? But this is the first time in a while we've seen an LR EZA that feels, yellow coin LR EZA, I should say, that feels good to use, right? And it feels, you're going to use him in his teams regularly. That's one very positive thing with Cell. And yeah, I have to agree. I think, with time, Broly has aged again because especially with Red Zone and everything, whereas Cell, on the other hand, is usable in those, stages of Red Zone, whereas Broly, it's very tricky to have him in those stages, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a good point you make too, is that I think when a lot of people evaluate units, they look at their skills on paper, they look at their passives, they look at them in showcases, and they evaluate them on that. But I think a real tool we need to evaluate is how often will you use the unit? How usable are they? And to me, like you said, the Cell is very usable. He links with a lot of units on his teams. The 200% leader skill makes him very usable in a unit that you want to use, right? Anybody else?
I would say right now, if you don't have AGL Cell, you just won't feel like you are going to use them, though. Just keep that in mind, right?
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. So definitely, like, and I guess a little side note, because we didn't have it on the agenda, but, we could do a quick, like, should you pull on EZA Cell's banner, which obviously most of the time you would say no. But if you, say, got AGL Cell and you don't have a single copy of the physical Cell, that banner only has 3 featured units. So for a yellow coin LR, there is no better chance than that banner to actually pick up that unit. If you are a big fan of this card and really want them, obviously we've got Anniversary coming up. We've got Ginyu coming up we're going to talk about. There's a lot of things there, but just if you're someone that just loves Cell and you want to run this team, to me, it's almost a must pull if you don't have any copies and you just want one to go in on that banner, because hopefully you can get them in like 200 stones or less with only 3 featured units. But we know this is Dokkan. Somebody's going to go in there and go like 2,000 stones without getting them, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, what's that?
I hope it's Gale.
Yeah, exactly.
The person who has him nearly reigned, but I only need one more copy. I'm not gonna pull for him. Crazy.
Well, the thing with Gale and Minato, you guys need to get the AGL Cell before you're going in on this banner, right?
Man, no. Physical Cell's all the way. He'll carry me. Just one man army.
Run him as your leader. Run him as the friend lead. You're good to go. Any physical Cell is going to do it, right? Physical Cell Junior end card. There you go. Okay, so let's talk about the celebration overall, because I know there were some opinions on this. It seems like people are kind of downplaying the celebration, thinking it's not that good. And I know, Gail, you had some specific opinions about how people are evaluating the celebration. So, Gail, how would you maybe evaluate the celebration, and why do you think people are maybe thinking so negatively about it?
I think the big thing for this celebration is, I mean, I know most people are directly comparing it to last year, and I think the big difference between this year versus last year was last year we got our first new Legendary Goku event in the GT edition, right? So getting a new version of that event after what I think it was 2 years was extremely hype, right? But when you look at everything on paper and you look at what we got this year versus last year, it's more or less the same in terms of stone rewards, but also in terms of what we had to do felt a little bit more this year because you had to do more SBR stages. Last year we didn't get a single new SBR stage, I don't think. And then we had two EZAs this time around. Of course, last year we had the one EZA, but 2 units, right? We also got IDBH this year. We got that last year. But generally, it felt like it was just that we got more of the same content from existing events versus last year we obviously got a brand new event. I think that's the big difference. I still feel compared to the average celebration, this was definitely more. The only issue that this celebration had was that 1 week of nothing, where I think they could have probably put something. It could have been a world tournament or whatever. I'm throwing stuff out there, just things that they could have done. Of course, world tournament isn't something people want, but it would have been a type of content, and I think that's the only bad part of the celebration. Otherwise, I feel like, compared to your average celebration, which has one SBR stage, maybe one EZA, you still got more. It's never going to compare to an anniversary, which I feel like some people might be unfairly comparing it to. It's never going to be that because anniversary and worldwide celebration have their own pedestals. This, on the other hand, is better than your average celebration still. And I still feel like compared to last year, it's on par.
For sure. Vilify, what are your thoughts on the celebration?
Yeah, just kind of quickly to what Gail said about the SBR. This was last year's Golden Week was before they adopted the new format, so it was still like the 10 stages at a time. So like that wasn't even in the time frame anyway. But it's just it's the spacing that's the problem. That dead week was just ridiculous. Like they tease Cell's EZA like 10 days in advance or something like that, and it's just like it's cool. We know Cell's coming, but we're in the middle of a big celebration here, and there's nothing to do for a whole week. So it was frustrating, but I don't think the celebration was bad. Like the content within it, there's just I don't know. The only complaint to me that's legitimate is just there was nothing to do for too long, which is completely valid.
Right. Minato, how about your thoughts?
I just feel like that they really did space things out too much, and it's unfortunate. At least we're gonna get something new in a few days.
Right. Yeah, and we talked about it last week too, and I think it was vilified because Minato kind of summarized it last week and talked about like all the EZAs we got, and I think myself and Vilify, we almost forget about like the STR Ultimate Gohan EZA, who is a very good EZA. Another unit Minato likes to tweet about, by the way. He just loves him some Ultimate Gohan, but it's like because of that dead week, it seems so long ago. You almost don't even think of it as part of the same celebration, and so I think it all just comes down to that pacing. And I know we've talked about it before. I'm willing to give Dokkan a pass on this because I think it is because of the delay of the movie. And I would say, considering this was almost like a quick rework, or we have to quick slide in a different celebration, I would say they did a pretty good job for what they were able to put together in what could have been quite very short notice. Because I don't know how ahead of time these units were developed, if they had to quick throw these together. But I would say, considering the situation, I think they did a pretty good job overall. So overall, I'm happy with the celebration. Yeah, the dead week wasn't great, but it gave me time to play, my other gachas that I do content on. So it works out for me. It's kind of a nice balance, right? Mm-hmm. Anybody else have final thoughts on the celebration they want to add?
Not really, no. But I want to also add one more thing as well, is people who say that, the movie didn't impact the games. I mean, just look at Legends, right? Like, we only got, for their anniversary, first part of their anniversary, we only got one major unit along with a side sparking unit, whereas usually for their previous anniversaries, they'd have, one LF and then 4 sparkings, or 2 LFs and, 4 other sparkings. Yep. This year, it's only been 1 sparking, 1 LF. So I feel like if Legends has had to potentially do the same, where they had to just flip around stuff so that, it would go in line with the movie, I mean, there's no reason why Dokkan hasn't had to do the same. So this is just a point for those out there who are, saying that, that excuse is getting old of, they had to delay stuff because of the movie. But they had to. It's clear with all the stuff going on in all the games.
Yep.
I mean, if you can't see it, that's on you.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and it's so obvious, right? It's like Dokkan can't just like release like ultimate new form Cell and the movie hasn't even come out yet. Like, they can't spoil the movie. So it's very obvious that their hands are tied. So I think, considering the situation, they did a good job reworking and putting in what I felt was a pretty hype celebration with some pretty hype units. 2 leaders that I really love running and teams that I love running. So yeah, overall, I would say they did pretty good considering the circumstances, right? All right, so next topic on the agenda, Captain Ginyu coming to global. We want to know, are you all going to summon Minato? Let's start. Well, no, you're not global, so we'll skip Minato. Vilify, are you going to summon on Ginyu?
Man, that shows what you know. I play JP.
I know,
buddy.
I know. Wait, you're JP too? Gale, are you going to summon for Ginyu?
If it's GFSSR, yes. I don't think it's worth summoning otherwise. I mean, I don't exactly remember Ginyu's banner now off the top of my head. That's the only thing I completely forgot to look up before this podcast. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't remember anything out there that I want to get from that banner. I'm not gonna lie. And even if I did, I'd probably use coins or something if it was really, really good, like maybe tech androids or something. But I don't think they were on the banner as far as I recall. Either way, GFSSR or not, if it's not, don't summon. If it is, I'll do the GFSSR and then leave. Otherwise, no need. Anniversary's too close.
Yeah, my plan is being a global player. One thing I think they're going to tempt us on the banner, because I believe the JP banner had Tech Count Khalif level. We just got them, so I'm almost 99% sure they're going to put Tech Androids on there, which I think will tempt people. My original plan was, as I was maybe going to summon a little bit, but I'm not going to lie, I went pretty hard. I really like this the Tech LR Goku Gohan card. I went like way deeper on that than I should have, and I still only got the one copy. So, yeah, I'm completely tapped out. So my plan is I will do, if they do like the ticket summon, like I'll buy Pilaf tickets, and if I get Ginyu on the ticket, great. But I don't think I'm going to throw any stones on it. I'm going to save. I'm going to buy up all the sales, save it for anniversary. The big thing people need to know about Ginyu is that Ginyu is ridiculously good, but he is tied to kind of his team and having a good supporting cast. And you almost need to pull one, if not both, of his banner units to really make him look his best. So it's kind of like a package deal. If you're going in on Ginyu, you know, if you get just the Rakumen Goldo or just the Jason Verter, you're not going to use them a ton. And if you get just Ginyu, like just Ginyu is definitely like usable, but like you kind of want to have, to make him really godly, especially in red zone, you want to have that supporting cast around him. So yeah, that's kind of what I would say. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I want to add this. Even if you get Ginyu now, the one advantage we have on global is that they will be unfeatured on all banners from here on out. So we can probably get them with the free tickets we'll get during the anniversary, with the amount of summons we can do. So in theory, even if you just get Ginyu now, possibly you might even get them really early on in the anniversary itself. Because I remember last year, I think it was I don't remember what banner we got right before the anniversary, but I remember getting that banner unit so much during the anniversary because of how many summons we did. So there is a chance you could just get them in the anniversary as well, even if you just get Ginyu now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Wasn't it Goten and Trunks that came out right before the anniversary?
Yeah, I think
so. Was that
Krillin
you're talking about?
Yeah,
Krillin. Tech Krillin. Yep. And see, I had a similar experience with, I think it was the year before that or 2 years before that, when the physical Beerus banner came out, STR Whis was on that. And I really wanted STR Whis, but I didn't really care to summon for Beerus. But it's kind of like yes, they're unfeatured on every banner, but they're really, even if you do a ton of summons, there's still no guarantee you're going to get them. Like I summoned quite a bit on the game, and I think it took me a full calendar year before I got an STR Whis. So it's iffy, but yeah, odds are you're going to pull it at some point. You know, I've gotten my Garlic Jr., I've gotten my second form Cell, and I didn't pull them on their initial banner. So typically, yes, if you summon a decent amount, you will get them. And Ginyu without those banner units still isn't like the worst. Like he's still very good, and he still runs a very good team, which you could do like a non-Ginyu centric team where you just use him for his leader skill and bring other like space traveling warriors or whatever, you know, if that fits on his leader skill. He's definitely usable, but I would say Ginyu not being the hypest character. This is my thought too on global. Since we just got the Cell and the STR Goku, like if you got them, like you're good. Like you don't need Ginyu's team to beat Red Zone. Like you don't need Ginyu to beat Red Zone. That's the other thing to consider. So for me, having both of them rainbowed, having their teams really built up, that's incentivizing me not to summon on Ginyu. So that's gonna push me further towards saving. Minato, I'll go to you. Obviously, you're on JP, but just from your point of view and your perspective, you've used Ginyu a lot. How would you advise a global player to handle the banner coming up?
I would say to wait and see, right? The banner will probably up for a very long time. Obviously, you guys know what is going to come to global during July, which would be of course, the 7th anniversary, which, I'm sure most people are going to aim to summon for that. But if Ginyu has, like, something that will entice you, like, guaranteed feature that's saw in the 3rd step, or tech androids, maybe want to throw a little bit of stones on it, I wouldn't blame you. But, again, I would say, even though, I know, Joe, you just said that Ginyu doesn't necessarily need those banner units, I would argue he does really need those banner units, right, to really be as good as, like, Red Zone Ginyu. Like, especially Raccoon and Guldo, they, like, are perfect for him being a slot 1 unit. Like, that unit is insane. So, I would say, if you want to go in for the Ginyu banner or the 7th anniversary banner, I wouldn't necessarily blame you, because that team, if you have it really set up, could destroy Red Zone as well, which is, at this point, the content that you want to build up your account for. Otherwise, if you already have like Cell or something, like a good Androids team, then you could probably just save for who you want, which I feel like a good majority of people would want Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta or the gods, right?
Right. And then while I got you on here, just with your experience, do you think he is still the best TUR?
Yes, I would say so.
You would say so. Okay. Vilify, do you have any thoughts on Ginyu? Have you used Ginyu much on your account? Or do you even have him?
Yeah. Yeah. That was the last Dokkan Fest I've pulled was Mr. Ginyu. So I'm
Okay.
in a bit of a drought, but just as a testament to what we were talking about earlier, where it's like, if you don't pull the banner units, they're still going to be available. I recently pulled Ginyu or Goldo and Raccoon and 19 and 20 in my attempts to get the AGL cell. So,
Yeah, it's nice when you pick those up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it's like, even if it's like one of those things, like if you pull Ginyu early, I would not go back in to try and get the banner units. Just kind of let them come to you.
Yep.
But I'm a huge fan of Ginyu. I like his active skill. It's like one of those ones where, if you get under that HP threshold, you get that big heal back up, and then you start getting big boy damage. Like I was trying to do one of the title missions for the GT Goku event, and I had no Lars Ginyu, who was rainbowed. And he did like a triple super, triple crit all over 10 million. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's I mean, this is with stacking, granted, but
right.
It wasn't that long. Like it's probably like turn 11 or 12 or something like that. Like it's not that far fetched.
Yeah, if you got the right team set up, he's a god.
Yeah,
he's pretty darn good. So yeah, something exciting. Yeah, so he's a unit like I said, for me, I think I'm content skipping him for now. If I get him on the tickets, great, or whatever. But I think to me, Ginyu is a really great unit to get as a secondary featured unit on a different Dokkan Fest where I'm summoning for something else. I think that's the way I'm going to treat him, and just let him come to me later on and then have some fun with him later on, because with as good as he is, I think he's going to have some longevity in the game. So that's the other thing to think about, is I don't think you need to stress about pulling him now, especially if you have a team that can beat Red Zone. Let him come to you later, and he's still going to be really viable, I think, for at least a full year, maybe even longer, depending on how intense the units get better or whatever. But yeah, I think he's a good unit, and it just depends on what your situation is. Any final thoughts on Ginyu before we move on from anyone?
Ginyu is the GOAT.
Ginyu's the GOAT. GG. Ginyu GOAT. That's what GG stands for, by the way. You didn't know. Ginyu GOAT. All right. So we've got some new news. Some exciting news. We have the next Dokkan Fest announced. Sorry, Minato, it is not Dokkan Fest Kabe. I know you wanted Dokkan Fest Kabe really, really bad, but we've got Resurrection F Goku instead. So we'll get everyone's initial thoughts on this announcement, and maybe we'll start with, what do you think this Goku is going to do? So Gail, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on this announcement, and what do you think this Goku is going to be like?
Ooh, I low key, first and foremost, my thoughts on the announcement is, finally, I know people have been begging for this or Battle of Gods, right, for a very, very long time. More so this, because we haven't gotten representation from this movie since, 2015, 2016, literally since the start of the game. So finally getting some good representation from it. Well, I guess you can say the transforming Goku and Frieza were kind of based off Resurrection F, but this is the proper first time we're getting, like full on Resurrection F, celebration and everything. In terms of what Goku will do, honestly, I kind of see another exchange unit happening. I think it's going to be a Goku into Vegeta. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But we'll have to just wait and see. I think it's going to be another exchange unit.
Okay. And I know that the teaser has a base Goku, right? But that doesn't mean that that's what his awakened form will be, right?
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah. Minato, go ahead. I'll let you jump in.
So it does mention in the news that it's gonna be Super Saiyan Blue is coming, right? It says that. So obviously, duh, there's gonna have Super Saiyan Blue in the card, right? I think that's gonna be a standalone Blue Goku. I would hope
Mhm.
so because Blue Gokus in the game right now suck for the most
Mhm.
part, right? The AGL Blue Goku could look pretty solid, right? The EZA, the
Yep,
very
I like
old
him.
Resurrection F one, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's like pre 7th anniversary power creep, bro. It's over. We need a new like 7 million attack stat, 300k defense with 59% damage reduction, like stacking attack and defense. We need that for a Blue Goku, bro, from Resurrection F. I think that it's gonna be standalone. We just got an exchange unit, and it's like I feel like as an exchange would be cool. I don't you usually kind of like hint at it in like the description, like what the exchange unit is, like that's how we knew it was gonna be exchanged. Go on and sell, because Goku was basically like, hey, go on, it's your turn, or like it's
Mhm.
basically saying like passing the torch and something like that, right? We'll see. I think that it could be what could be really cool is we could see like an intro animation, something like when Goku first transforms into blue, like that really cool animation from the movie. I always thought that looked sick, but like the shattering like blue coming off of like glass, it was so cool when I first watched it. Right, that's
Yep.
why I always kind of liked Resurrection F because I think they handled those transformations really well. Um, it could be a perfect intro. Maybe make it like against Extreme Class. I'm getting really into it, but I personally am a Resurrection F Goku advocate. I've been waiting for quite a while to get him with good animations, and yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, if you don't mind me, Joe, I actually want to ask a question to everyone. What do you guys think the banner unit will be? I'm thinking that might be Blue Vegeta himself, but
Yeah, we've actually got
Mm,
banner unit on the agenda, but we can go to that right now for sure.
it could be either that or it could be an interesting like I don't know, maybe like a first form freezer or something, maybe because we don't. Do we have a good first? Well, I mean, we have the EZA Tech first form freezer, right? But do we have a otherwise first form freezer or something,
We don't
or we
have a good
don't?
final form Frieza. We need a good final form Frieza that isn't a free to play card, is what we need.
That's also there as well. Actually, a good shout. Final form
Yep.
freezer as well. That
Yep.
wouldn't be a bad shout. Or maybe one. This could be. Do we also have one more question actually to add on to this? We're just giving questions to everybody. Do we have a banner unit that transforms? Because this could be a good time to do a final form Frieza into golden Frieza banner unit maybe or something like that.
what's it called? Android 21 does.
There you go.
Yes,
Never
Android
mind.
21 does. Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, I think something like that would be cool because as much as I would like a new Vegeta as well. I don't know. I don't know if I would want a banner unit for him as Super Saiyan Blue. It would kind of feel a little bit odd. Not gonna lie, but it wouldn't be a bad idea either. I'm just trying to do something a little bit different here.
All right, I've got a spicy one. I was talking with Vilify about this beforehand. What if they did the first ever banner unit with revive mechanic and it is Whis with time rewind? That I think would be hype.
That would be a
That's
good shout. Yeah, I
yeah,
kind of like that idea.
yeah.
You guys are
Um
talking all about good shout this, good shout that. You guys are forgetting about the GOAT, Mr. Jocko. We need a new Jocko in Dokkan, baby.
Not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna say Tagoma. I thought Tagoma was coming
Oh,
here.
there you go. And he'd be on the Ginyu
Tagoma
Force team.
Ginyu to go with the
Yeah.
Ginyu that's
Oh,
coming out.
Ginyu
Tagoma
Tagoma.
Ginyu.
Yeah, but
yes.
that would be based off the anime and not the movie though. So
Oh,
That's
true.
true. Yes. The
Yeah.
movie did not do that. You never know though.
I mean, they could put him on there. He obviously wouldn't be able to move bosses anyways, right? But
Yep.
Togoma Guinea would be pretty cool. I could see him as a banner unit, like maybe for like if we do get like a part 2 Golden Frieza or something, right?
Yep. Or they could possibly do Tagoma Ginyu as a support memory, maybe, and just show the animation changing. I don't know. That could be a thing. Oh, so here's the question I was going to shut out. So we were talking about kit predictions, but we haven't talked about leader skill. Do we have any predictions for leader skill? Would he be just 2 existing leader skills, or could they possibly add a new leader skill? I don't know if anybody has ideas, but here I'll summarize really quick. I'm looking at a blue Goku. So this is his current categories, and he's got a lot of them. Realm of Gods, Pure Saiyans, Movie Heroes, Goku Family, Kamehameha, Bond of Master and Disciple, Turtle School, Mastered Evolution, Bond of Friendship, Accelerated Battle, and Battle of Fate. So that's what his current categories are. So what would you like to see as a combo, or do you think there'd be a new leader skill? And I'll just open this up to anyone, just because I'm kind of just shouting this out randomly. So if anyone wants to take on a leader skill here.
I think personally, Realm of Gods, we don't have one. I think Realm of Gods could work really well here. Um, and especially because it's the first time we saw Super Saiyan Blue, and Super Saiyan Blue is somewhat well, not in the manga, but it had been used in the anime quite frequently, right? And it's a signature of Dragon Ball Super. So I think giving him Realm of Gods leader skill would be kind of smart. And we do need a new one as well. I want to add that as well. I feel we do need a new one as well, considering the last one was what, Beerus. So it would be a good time to give him a Realm of Gods leader skill, primarily at least
I
the ones, well, for the 170 at least.
I
Yep.
want them to go crazy. Battle of Fate and Kamehameha, then Roman Gods, the 30%.
That would be a good combo. I would take that. Vilify, do you
Dude,
have any ideas on what you want?
Imagine Battle of Fate and Roman Gods. Insane. I mean, Battle of Fate and Kamehameha. That would be an
Let's
insane team.
let's go Realm of Gods, but then let's also go Turtle School. We need a Turtle School leader,
Yeah.
or that
Just a
could be
team
like
where you could throw any
yeah.
Goku.
And yeah, maybe I'm just kind of having fun with it. What about like Battle of Fate would be like the 30% or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah. Another team you could throw Master Roshi on. Be a
Mhm.
nice little support for all those Gokus.
Yep.
Definitely would take that. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't even know what they would do. And I think that the nice thing about the 200% leader skill is it has gotten them, I think, to shy away a bit from constantly coming out with new categories. So I think they're probably just going to stick within his categories. But can anybody think of what a new category would be for this Resurrection F Goku? I'm just like spouting off the top of my head. I don't personally know of one, but does anybody have an
I
idea of
think
what
I
one
have
could
an
be?
idea. What about
Okay.
what about something like key control or something like that, right? Because that's all what Super Saiyan Blue is about.
Yeah.
And then like you could have like Golden Frieza, who from the Tournament of Power that learns how to control his ki. It'd be a lot of Gokus and
Okay.
Vegetas. Maybe if you want to get crazy, you could do like Beerus and Whis on it, because obviously they've been focusing with that. But you know, it just maybe it's like a focus category or something like that. Like
Yeah.
Master Roshi could be on it. Like anybody that's done like you know, like a master of some sort. I don't know. It sounds like master and disciple, but could be an
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, whatever category it is, it's going to be some type of a stretch, I'm sure, because there
Right.
isn't like an obvious one that jumps out to me. So they're probably just going to stick, and he's got so many categories already, anyways. So yeah, I
Yep.
think they'll probably just stick and make a cool 200% leader skill. All right. Does anybody else have any other comments just on this Resurrection F Goku, or anything they want to say about what they think the celebration will look like?
I want to ask actually, who do you think will be the EZA unit for the celebration?
Oh yes, I have that on the list. Yes, well, let's go to that
Okay.
next. So, I did have another one. So I threw out one earlier that I know he's not Resurrection F, but this could be the time if we're talking about for the main Dokkan Fest ECA. I want to shout out in Angel Golden Frieza as my pick for that. So I'll lead with that, and I'll let maybe Minato, if you want to throw out some ideas for Resurrection F ECAs for any banner unit, Dokkan Fest, LR, whatever you think.
The banner unit Blue Vegetas, like the very old ones, they finally should get their sub EZAs, right?
Yep.
You know, the Resurrection F ones, they have been waiting for like a very long time. So if maybe this Goku was just shelved, right, or something, right? Who knows? But yeah, they've been waiting on those Blue Vegeta EZAs for a long time. I think that's pretty surprising. Maybe an EZA for the physical Blue Goku and the tech Blue Vegeta, the orb changers. That
Yep.
could be really cool. Other than that, maybe they'll just throw a random EZA. Like they get EZA in Golden Frieza, part 2 allow normal Golden Frieza, and that could be cool, right?
Yep.
Since we just got an Extreme Z battle, it's also possible that we don't see an EZA. I feel like a main EZA like that, and they may be waiting for what's coming out on the 11th. If y'all know what I mean.
Yes. Exactly. Vilify, do you have any EZA predictions?
I think Minato kind of covered the ones like you and I talked about the Angel Golden
Yeah.
Frieza before we came on here. I think, you know, if you want to get spicy, you could do the AGL full form or final form Frieza.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If you really want to just go, if we're not going like chronologically, like why not?
Right. Right. And I believe, isn't there a Golden Frieza sorbet that has an EZA yet, a free to play?
Yes, we thought he was going to
Yes.
EZA instantly, and he didn't.
Yeah. So that could be just like a free to play EZA option, right?
Mhm.
So Gail, I know you asked the question, but do you have any thoughts on your EZA predictions?
You guys covered a majority of what I was expecting. I don't see anything else coming realistically. I think in Angel Golden Frieza, that was gonna be what I was thinking as well. And yeah, I completely forgot about the Vegetas. I think that's a very good shot that they might get their sub EZAs finally. So we're gonna probably get a lot. That's gonna be a lot of sub EZAs to work on. That's I think 3 units in total, if I'm not mistaken. The AGL, SCR, and physical one. Oh,
Yep.
no, that's not gonna be fun. I wish they would. I don't understand why Dokkan didn't add the attempt again button on the EZA stages. That's so annoying to me. But otherwise, yes. I think those are gonna be the likeliest EZAs to come for sure.
Yeah, and I'm thinking too with like I think the orb changing resurrection F Goku and Vegeta, like they're the ones that awakened with Bergamo back in the day. They're still actually like not the worst units. So I think it is most likely that the old Vegeta, like the STR and AGL ones, those are more likely just because they're older. They really, really, really need it. But that definitely could be fun to get those EZAs going. But hey, nobody's mentioned Tech Jocko. Tech Jocko, Resurrection F unit. Come on now, new world tournament, best unit in the game. Give him an EZA, right?
I like
And I know, Gail, you're looking forward to getting your police officer Krillin back, right? Because he's currently not
Yes,
obtainable in
sir.
the game, right?
Yes, sir. But I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, we still don't know how it's gonna work because, like
right.
Minato said before the podcast, he's technically part of the countdown. He's not part of the actual ResF story, so we'll have to just wait
Yeah,
and see how they handle it. But I
right.
do want my police officer Krillin, please, for the love of God. Well, to be fair, we might get one from the movie as well because he is in the movie, if I'm not mistaken, right? At least based on the poster, right? But
Yeah,
I still want my original one.
right, for sure. And then being that this is a movie celebration, do you guys think this is connected to Dragon Ball Superhero, just like boot buffing movies a little bit more, or do you think this is more just kind of filling in beforehand?
I think it's a combination
I
of
think that
both.
this might just be straight up just a fairly Dokkan Fest until the movie.
Just the
Mhm.
filler?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually,
All right.
one more thing I want to talk about the celebration. We've been talking about an LR Golden Frieza and everything. We're only 2 weeks away. So how will they be able to fit an LR in this time period? It's going to be extremely difficult. You'd have to release the Dokkan Fest literally on Tuesday and then the LR the following Tuesday, and that's it. That's the only time frame we've got. It's gonna be they're cutting it real close with the celebration. It's gonna be like a 2 week long celebration before the movie comes out.
Right. So maybe let's just throw in a little bit about Dragon Ball Superhero because I'm sure people are curious about our thoughts on it. But do we think that like literally June 11th is going to hit and they're going to like start a celebration, or would they announce a celebration like the next day? What do you guys think? How are they going to handle the Dragon Ball Super celebration? Minato, what do you think?
I think it'll just be a dual Dokkan Fest.
But do you
Just
think
straight up.
it'll literally drop like right on June 11th or?
Yeah. Yep.
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 Okay.
Yep.
So basically, whatever they're doing now with this Resurrection F, it's got to wrap up by June 11th. So any content, it's got to fit within that, right?
Mhm.
We'll see if the sales end on June 11th. Then we know.
Right. We'll know more as stuff comes out, right? Exactly. Because, yeah, because I feel like it's going to be one of those things where maybe this will just be kind of a smaller celebration and then they'll jump into that. Because I don't think it would do the new movie justice for it to be like a part 2 add on to this current celebration or something like that. So, and I know that originally they had it planned for Golden Week. So it's got to be a big celebration coming.
Yeah.
So we'll
I
just wait
feel
and
like
see.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
pretty big, right? And then it's gonna
Yeah.
lead into Tanabata, then worldwide.
Yeah,
Crazy,
it's going to be
right?
crazy. It's going to be crazy for sure. Okay, does anybody have any just thoughts in general before we wrap up and go to viewer questions?
It's just gonna be a tricky time. It's gonna be very interesting to see how they handle everything for sure. I still have my doubts on the release time for the superhero content because of how close they're cutting it with the celebration. It's why I understand they were taking a week off, but in all honesty, they could have probably wrapped up, the Golden Week celebration for JP at least maybe last week or something. But obviously, then you would have had global players complain about it. But it would have probably made sense for them to wrap up last week or do the Cell EZA and JP in that last dead week period, pretty much do the Goku celebration now. That would have given them a good solid 3 weeks for the celebration, right? But who knows,
I
it's going to be very
they
interesting.
they usually do like a week and a half for like these little Dokkan Fest celebrations, right? The banner will drop on like what, like the 30th, 31st. Then
Yeah.
it'll overlap because a lot of times these banners can overlap, right? It would overlap with the new like I straight up expect to do a Dokkan Fest. It could just be a normal Dokkan Fest banner, right? But we'll see what happens.
One idea I had, what if they do this? You know how I remember how Legends has been doing for the movies, they would have like separate banners and then it would lead into the big banner, right? For the movie, like how they did it for Super Broly, they're doing it now. They did it with Gamma 1 and 2. what if, and this is just an idea out there, how would you treat it if it was like this? What if what if for the movie initially they just do like a miniature, like maybe single Dokkan Fest banner, maybe it's like a Gamma 1 and 2 joint forces unit or something like that. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there, whatever unit it may be. And then for worldwide, it's the big celebration where they celebrate the movie on both versions at the same time. And obviously,
I
global
think
will get it at some point in between or right before the worldwide celebration after the anniversary.
that could be fine, right? Like, installations. Like, during the Universe Survival Saga, as time went on, we got different buffs for it. There's so many characters, right? We can get, like,
Yeah.
this initial banner with, like, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, the Gammas, and then, like, maybe a new Piccolo or Goten Trunks. Then later on, during Worldwide, we can get, like, Ultimate Gohan, LR Mega Cell, and then, like, Banner Unit Dr. Hito. And then,
Yes.
and then the actual Piccolo form, right? There's a lot of,
Yeah.
there's enough to make it into two separate celebrations, which would again, the August timeframe would line up with when it comes out around on the US. So yeah.
Yeah, because
Does
that's
the
what I was
US have an
thinking.
official release date?
We just know it's from August onwards. It's dropping worldwide. Crunchyroll is
Okay.
publishing it on and a majority of the regions pretty much. So
Okay.
we just know
Okay.
it's from August, and that would make sense because we wrap up anniversary in August. They could do that,
Yep.
Dokkan Fest, like whatever JP gets now on June 11th. They do that Dokkan Fest in August, and then we have that big dual celebration with like Ultimate Gohan and whatever new form Gohan has, and Cell or whatever, right? I think that would be a good idea in all honesty.
I don't know, man. My stones are gonna be tapped out from summoning on Raditz. I don't think I'll have stones to summon on that
Well,
celebration.
no. What I'm thinking is Raditz doesn't come out until everything is done. Instead of Raditz during that
Oh.
period, we'd get that we'd get that first superhero celebrate Dokkan Fest banner, and then we'd go into the big dual Dokkan Fest celebration on global at least.
Come on, Gail. Just let me have my joke, huh? Just let me have my joke.
Hey man, I'm just trying to avoid us from getting Raditz, all right?
Yeah. Just skip Raditz. Just throw him away somewhere. Just bring us Dragon Ball Superhero. I
Hide
think
him.
we take that.
We don't need him anymore. We can put him to the side.
That's right. All right. Anybody else want to chime in before we jump into viewer questions?
I think you kind of scared me a little bit with the idea of having from the June 11th all the way up to worldwide just being Dragon Ball Superhero. I don't think I could take that.
Too much?
Yeah.
A little too much. Well, we'll see what happens. It'll all come in time. It's going to happen faster. I mean, it's coming up so fast. It's crazy. And it's going to be an exciting time, I think. So let's hop into some viewer questions. So we got 3 questions today to talk about. So we've got our first one coming from DeHunter909. He says, with the 200% leader skill becoming the new meta, is it time for 77% type leads to be added to the Redstone selection? So Minato, what are your thoughts about adding units to the Redstone?
I think that honestly, it's like those Redstone units. We get constant additions to the Redstone already, right? I just feel like maybe make it more modern would be cool, but I doubt that they would really add new stuff to the Redstone like that, like mega new stuff, like 19 and 20 or something, right? Crazy.
Right.
But I think that they could definitely update it more, and I think it would be a really good idea. Just because more free options would be cool.
Yeah. Vilify, what about you?
Yeah, I definitely think you just kind of look at these Redstone units, and if like you don't have one of them rainbowed, obviously it's a good choice. But like I feel like a lot of players do have most of them rainbowed at this point. And even if you don't, it's just like just give me the Elder Kai. That's all I need at this point. Like,
yeah.
But
Yeah,
a
most of them
more
just
modern
suck.
selection.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Gail, what are your thoughts about adding to this?
I think the biggest thing for me is that they need to start transferring stuff, between banners, between these stone exchange unit shop. Basically, they need to start transferring them over, because right now what they're doing is they're just adding the banner units basically that get an easy nowadays, like Kefla and stuff, right, to the Redstone, which is really, I mean, yeah, that's nice and all, but you're gonna get them inevitably somehow, some way. They'll come to you. Like we were talking about earlier on with like, the Rikum and Guldo and stuff like that. They'll come to you anyways. So adding them to the Redstone doesn't make too much sense to me personally. I'd rather they transfer over, like, this question says, the 77% leaders to the Redstone, and then the 120s go to the Bluestone or something like that, right? I think that would be much, much better. I think it would make a lot more sense, and it would be just more feasible for a player to, justify buying the Bluestone or justify buying, using their Redstone in the correct place, right? So that's how I feel as well.
Yeah, I think for sure they need to update it. I've been in like Elder Kai mode for a long time on these as a veteran player. I do think they kind of have newer players in mind with this. So I think adding any units to it that have like decent starter or leader skills for a new player, I think would be really helpful. Even if there was some generic like 120 leader skills or something that they could use that cover a lot of categories, any of that would be good. But I feel like you could throw every 77% type lead on there and it would be fine because most veteran players have them all rainbowed anyways. It's not going to hurt them. They're not on banners really, so it's not like hurting their pull rates or anything. So I think there's a lot of these just older units and older units that have easy aid. I think any of those could be fair game because, like I said, veteran players have them rainbowed. Older, they're not on banners much anyways. It's not going to hurt their sales. They definitely need to update it though. Give players more options. Help those newer players out. I agree with that. Okay, let's go to the next question, which comes from Blair Dowker. Do you think that free-to-play characters have become unusable in the current meta? Gail, let's start with you.
This is a rough question because it kind of and I don't know if it's necessarily just how they're. I think it's more so just how they're making these free to play units. It just feels like they're really undertuning them, or they're acting as if we're still in like the pre 7th anniversary meta for a lot of these units. Because I mean, last year when we got units like Roshi and stuff, right? He was usable in even stuff like the God event, right? Whereas now, I mean, if you take any of the 7th anniversary free to play units into the red zone, goodbye, have fun. You'll never come back. You'll get kicked out basically in the first round itself if they get even touched upon, right? So it is definitely. I feel like it's just how they've designed that. They're designing these free to play units nowadays. They're just not up to scratch anymore, or up to par, I should say, more so.
Okay, Vilify, your thoughts on free to play units these days?
Gail said like we're post 7-year power creep. I feel like a lot of these free to play units, like they don't even hit like post 6-year power creep. Like it's just, I don't find myself using these free to play units ever. Like, and especially when we come off like the heels of units like the Prime Battle Frieza EZA and the Prime Battle Goku and just how good they look. Like we just don't really get that anymore. Like I don't know. Do any of you guys use Prime Battle Vegeta EZA like in any content? No. What about Prime Battle Trunks?
Well, absolutely not. That's one thing
I don't use any of the Prime Battles.
Just like, there used to
I used to use Prime Battle Frieza quite a bit, but he's gotten like way power crept. Way power crept.
Family support and all these units, but nowadays you can't even whatever we get nowadays, you just don't run them. You still use B-Pan in some situations, but yeah, these modern units aren't good enough. But yeah, I don't touch Trunks or Vegeta. They're just not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Minato, your thoughts on the free-to-play situation?
They're just not doing that great, unfortunately. I think that they could do way better with these free-to-play units recently. Hopefully we'll see better from I guess Golden Frieza and Sorbet. Take it easy, right? But they could be an interesting unit, honestly, with the guaranteed stun if they give them some really good damage reduction. But we have to wait and see how they handle them.
Yeah, and I think the mindset with free-to-play units, and I think it's a good point. I think the reason this question arises is because recent free-to-play units have not been impressive at all. It's been a long time since I've been that impressed. I'd say version Z Goku is pretty impressive. And then we're talking like the Master Roshi and stuff like that. But I think in red zone, I don't know that any of these units can stand in there. Maybe Roshi just because he has revive, but I don't have enough experience with red zone to know if you can get to that. But it could be the mindset is because if you look outside of red zone, I think there's a lot of like free to play units that are very usable. Like anything that stacks. Like I could take physical UI Goku into a legendary event and do fine. Master Roshi's very good in a lot of content in the game. So I think the developers maybe have this mindset that they want to keep red zone. Like they want you to summon for units for red zone. They don't want free to play viable units in there. And that could be an intentional stance. But I think if you think outside of red zone, there are actually a lot of like usable free to play units. The recent ones aren't that good. But I think if you think of units like Master Roshi, physical UI Goku, I think Tien and Roshi's still solid. Version Z Goku. I really like the Int Final Form Frieza. Like if you're fighting Goku family or whatever, like he's a great tank. So I mean, there are usable free to play units. Just the recent ones haven't been good. And I think in red zone, it's very, very hard to find viable free to play there. Any other thoughts on the free to play?
No, they saw J Fanta clearing all these stages, and they were like, "No, not anymore."
Yeah, Rip J Fanta in red zone, right? I haven't kept up with his channel. Has he done free to play red zone runs? I'm guessing not.
Yes, I think he's up to cooler.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Good for him. I mean, those are long runs, I guess, too. Because I'm guessing he's using a lot of stacking in there. It's got to be.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Last question of the week comes from Rocky. How did you stumble upon the game called Dokkan Battle, and what has kept your interest in the game? Let's start with Vilify. How did you stumble upon this game? What keeps you interested?
I just kind of like, I don't know if I could speak for everybody, but I downloaded it a couple times, like back in like the earlier days, thinking like, I just want a Dragon Ball game on my phone. I played it for like 5 minutes. I didn't like it. I deleted it. But then I just got like an impulse and decided to play it. And do you guys remember the Dokkan Fest for Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I on my first like summon on there when I re-downloaded it when that happened. I didn't download it for him for any specific reason, but I pulled him and I thought it was like, oh, I got him because I'm new. Like I thought it was guaranteed or something. And then I gave it like a good run. My team wasn't any good. Kind of put it away again, and then once Dragon Ball Super Broly came around is really when I picked it up again and I had a sweet little free to play movie hero fusion team. But what keeps me around is the animations, the community, kind of the speculation, the discussion, everything that goes along with it. What I'm doing right now, talking about the game with other people, that's what keeps me involved with it.
Very good, very good. Gail, how about you?
I kind of stumbled upon it after I uninstalled Pokemon Duel and I was looking for another mobile game. This was my first year in university as well. I joined the game around the time of Dragon Ball Fusions, the first time it dropped on Dokkan. The banner as well. I remember my first SSR being Bullpan as well.
Nice.
But I decided to stop playing the game because my internet at my accommodation was really, really bad, and I would have to consistently go to the university, campus to download and update the game. So I was just like, I can't keep doing this. I can't just keep going to the university to download the game or update the game consistently, right? So I stopped playing the game until, of course, the second year anniversary with Goku and Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4s. And since then, yeah, it's just been good. Obviously, the reason why I keep playing the game is primarily the collection. Of course, the community is one reason as to why I've stuck around for this long, I think, as well. Having started my Twitch channel and everything because of Dokkan and stuff, or Dragon Ball in general. I remember my first stream was actually Xenoverse 2, but Dokkan's what kept it going. But overall, yeah, no, I think the collection aspect as well as the community is what kept me going for sure. Had times where I dropped the game, but still, it's still ongoing now, so that's good, I guess, or bad, depending on what you think about my wallet.
Right. Minato, what's your experience with Dokkan? When did you start? Why do you keep playing?
I installed Global Dokkan when it first started. I was like, this sucks. Then I just didn't play until I think I saw GT Goku, Trunks, and Pan come up with a Roto banner. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I installed the global version again. And then I quit after a while. I was like, eh. I remember another because I kept uninstalling and installing global. And I remember another time I started when I saw God Goku and Super Saiyan Bardock on a banner. I was like, that's pretty sweet. And then I got them, and then I got bored again. And then I finally kept playing on a JP account when I saw Omega and Buhan were going to come to the game. So I installed, I got Gotenks. No, I got Omega Shenron when it came out. Then I lost that account because I forgot to link it. Then I got my current account right now. And I got Gotenks and then Omega, like, back-to-back singles on, like, one of those download celebration banners. And I was like, this is a keeper, and that's it.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I started playing pretty much when the game came out, but I had a very similar experience to Gale, where, like, I kind of played off and on. Like, the game was okay. I think it wasn't as engaging early on. It was just very simple, very basic. The thing I remembered about early Dokkan, it's just, like, all the character kits were identical. They just had different names. And there was no category, so it didn't really matter. And so I think that the game wasn't as engaging early on. And then I remember specifically, it's funny, Gal brought up Dragon Ball Fusions, because I remembered I was at an anime convention, and I'm like, I'll just load up, because I had Dokkan on my phone. I didn't, like, delete it. It was just there. I just wasn't playing it every day. But I remember logging in, I saw the Fusions. I'm like, oh, this Bullpan, whatever, looks kind of cool. I summoned for Bullpan. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that was around the time that Hidden Potential came out for the first time. And that got me really interested. Like, oh, now we can do stuff with the kits. We can make characters stronger. That was something that really engaged me. And then having the ability to get dupes or whatever, which I know that just helps them get money, but like being able to build the characters out, that really added interest for me. I think I played it like that for a little bit, and then it wasn't until second year anniversary that I was like a everyday login player. And basically since second anniversary, that's where I've been logging in every day. And I think what keeps me playing is in the end, I do really love the easy pick up and play game style of it. I like it that I can do it in quick bursts. It's something I can very easily do just in between when I'm doing other things. Love the animations, love the characters. My favorite thing about Dokkan that keeps me playing though is EZA. EZA is my favorite mechanic ever. And I love it because even if don't draw the new Dokkan Fest banners, there's something exciting in every celebration because I know something's going to EZA that's either free to play or some old banner unit that I already have in my box. And it's something new and exciting to play with. So that's really what keeps me going. Love the game, love the community as always, all that good stuff. Anybody else have anything else to add before we wrap up today?
I think I just want to quickly mention that, it's easy to say that how like the game wasn't as intriguing in the beginning because, the basic Kamehameha animation is basically what everybody had.
Yeah.
And if you just kind of go from that era to it and you look now where it's just like almost one-of-one anime quality, that it's like, this game has come quite a long way. So that also helps you keep it interested. Like, I don't think this game would have even been able to make it to 5 years if it was just everybody had the Kamehameha, but hey, we're here now, right?
Yep, they've done a good job making strides, updating the game. Back in old Dokkan, you weren't even guaranteed super attacks. Like, the whole idea of like super attacking every turn was not a thing back then. It was a struggle to get a super attack off, and you were just going off a normal attack. So yeah, it was very stale, very boring back then. They've done a good job of updating it, keeping it going. Anyone else want to add anything before we wrap up today? All right, well, that is going to do it for our show today. This has been episode 84 of the Dokkan Battle podcast. I would like to thank our guests today, Gale Riot, Minato, and Vilify for joining me. My name is Joe Wags. It has been an honor hosting for you today. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll catch you all on the next one. See ya.